Facebook. Those 215 calls, right? Really good volume. That would be my bias here. See how this thing closes next 50 seconds. Okay, so let's see if we can get an entry here on Facebook. Looking at those 215 calls. Looking for a touch of, we'll give the cross, right, of that 212.50. And then looking to run this thing up towards that 213.40 area. 10% stop loss here. So now let's just wait it out for a second. All right, guys, I'm in. Average price 301. 301 average price. Let's see if this thing can now give us some immediate follow through. And see if this thing can give us some pop towards that high of day. So far, so good, right? But we'd like to see this thing pop and give us that immediate 10% move, right? We can go entry protection mode. But good looking move so far here on this Facebook. Let's see if it can pop. Pop and run. It's for once in my life I'm allowed to, Paco. For once in my life. Remember, guys, tight stop loss here, right? 10%. So don't get too attached to this thing. So if we should make a higher high here, I'm going to look to take a little bit off and go entry protection mode. So let's see if we can get that breakout through this 213. And then hopefully that'll get us to that sort of 10% mark, right? So let's see if this thing has those legs. I'm going to take off about a third of my position there at that 330, right? 330 target. Okay, 5 cents away here, so let's see if he can give it to me. These contracts maybe aren't moving the way I'd expect them to. All right, so should get a fill here in a sec. Right, 330 target for my first take profit. There we go, guys. Locked in about 1/3 of my position. Now stop loss on my remainder here is going to be at $3.15. And let's see if this thing can give us a big pop here and some nice follow through. But great entry. Hopefully a few of you guys are in this as well. Quickly turning into a really, really nice play. We have that insurance on, right? So like I said, stop loss. I'm going to go stop loss 320. Low of whatever this candle is. And then let's see if we can keep getting a little bit of follow through. But I haven't necessarily liked the way this has been pricing. So I want to be a little bit more aggressive with how this is coming together. But great first trade, right? A little bit of patience, got to that 10%, and no issues. Average price 301, max. Average price 301. Yeah, we're in great shape here, guys. So let's see if this thing can keep giving us a little bit of follow through and turn this into a really, really nice little play. We've got that insurance here for this little breakout here. So pretty happy with this, right? And let's see if this momentum can keep building. But great first play. Nice work, Michael. Nice work. Remember, right? We got to be patient, guys, right? When we're patient, we wait for that perfect entry. We should spend very, very little time in the red, right? So, yeah, it sucks that we didn't catch something in that first 30 minutes, right, when everything was running. But if we're waiting, we're patient, we can catch a nice little pop still, right? So we don't need to be aggressive. We just need to wait for things to be A+ and perfect. And then this was a really good setup for us, right? Exactly what we were looking for. Came together. Hopefully everyone had enough time. Hopefully everyone could kind of get this, saw the alert and understood what it meant. And we're in great shape here, everyone. So let's see if this thing can keep running for us. Probably going to take some more off at that 360. That's going to be sort of my next profit target, maybe like 365. And we'll see if we can keep getting a bit of space. But great trade to start the day here. Removes a lot of the pressure, right? We don't have to do anything else here besides sit and wait and sit and watch our accounts grow. We've got that insurance. We've got that lottery ticket with 0 risk. We've locked in a little bit of profit. So now let's see if we can get lucky and get that big follow through. But big wins come from a consistent, repeatable process, not by swinging for home runs. So don't get greedy here, everyone. Right? These contracts still maybe aren't moving the way I'd expect. I would have thought maybe a little bit more movement from them. But really, really good trade. Well, we played a breakout on a pullback, right? So we had that insurance. I'm not sure if we would have entered on this, right? When we made these highs, it was like 330. So it would have been a little bit of follow through, but not that much. You know, by the time we got to that breakout area, we were at entry protection mode and 10% up. So it's better to have that insurance, I think, than it is to sort of just try to be first into a play, right? Like the way we want to trade is we want to squeeze from the middle of the toothpaste tube, right? We don't need to roll it up and try to get everything out of it. Let's just try to get the chunky part in the middle and then let someone else worry about the scraps. But great trade, everyone. So let's see if we can keep getting a bit of action, keep getting a bit of joy. Fantastic start to the day. Let's go. Next, take profit, like I said, right? 365. That's going to be my target. I've got an order set for it now. Taking off 20% of what I have left at that area. And hopefully we can get there. But like I said, just a little bit, not a super satisfactory reaction to that breakout. So I want to basically just see if I can get lucky at this point. Basically have a bracket order, stop loss at 320 or take profit on some more at 365. And let's see which one happens first. But happy to be green, happy to be sitting on a winner. No real rush to do anything else. Right? We'll see if something else sets up, but we don't need to overmanage this position. We don't need to overtrade it. Just keep stacking up those little base hits, right? And then good things will happen. So looking to take a bit more off here in a second, right? Looking to take a little bit more off here in a second. Let's see if this thing can make that higher high. If we can get that breakthrough through that 214 area, that should be that 365 touch, which is sort of my next take profit target. And then I'll push that stop loss up a little bit more. Taking off, like I said, 20% of what I have left of my position here and see if I can get a little bit of follow through. But great start to the day here, everybody. For all those who are new DTR members, welcome. This is how we trade every day. So hopefully we can keep crushing it. But fantastic little trade here, guys. There we go, right? Locked in some more profit there at that 365. Stop loss here now on my remainder is going to be, let's call it 340. Stop loss 340 on my remainder. And let's see if this thing can kind of go psycho mode on us and give us a big pop. Next take profit target for me is going to be at $4, which is we're almost there now. So if we can get that opportunity, just make sure to keep taking profit off on the way up, and then right, keep pushing your stop loss. Don't get greedy, and well done, right? We expected that there's going to be a little bit of resistance here at this 215, right, which is this sort of April 14th high. So want to take some off just before there. And really good job, everyone. Fantastic start to the day. Let's frickin' go. Best job in the world, eh, Rusty? Best job in the world. So should be able to take off a little bit more here, right? 5 cents away on the bid. So let's see if this thing can give us that that one more pop here. There we go. Locked in a little bit more profit, guys. I didn't get a full fill. Only got 4 contracts. There, we should get a couple. There we go. So locked in a little bit more profit. Let's go. I've got about 1/3 of my original position left here at this point. Stop loss on this remainder is going to be like, call it 360. Stop loss 360 on this remainder. It's keeping it basically 10% behind whatever the current price is. And let's see if this thing can keep rocking and rolling. But great trade here, everyone, right? Up 30% here all of a sudden. Don't need to do anything else besides manage a nice winner. Fantastic work, everybody. Let's go. Anyone else catch this with me? I know Nitesh, Rusty, you did. Paco, you did. Michael, you did. Anyone else? Nice work, Kyle. Nice work. That's sick. So hopefully we did enough here. Survive this pullback, right? Like I said, stop loss on my remainder now 360. And let's see if this thing can keep going. But I'm happy to protect 20%. That's epic, right? So no need to get too greedy here. And let's see if we can keep getting a bit of follow through. So SPY here, right, and a little bit of a challenging setup for us. So really good looking pullback candle. But the reason I want to take after this is because the preceding candle, right, on big volume is a bit of a rejection. So if you compare these two candles together, you know, it's kind of an inconsistent narrative. So that's why we're not super motivated to chase after an entry on this low, right? It's not quite as a plus. Whereas we can compare this to sort of Facebook, right? The Facebook on this breakout candle, right? It's giving us that sort of most bullish look, right? So really strong momentum, that kind of weak little pullback, and then we have that clean entry. Whereas on the SPY here, right, this preceding volume bar doesn't exactly give us high conviction that we're going to get a lot of follow through after. So that's why we're not chasing after this. That's why it's not a plus. But if the indexes want to keep pumping, right, that's just going to be really good for our current position here. It seems like our stop loss is in the correct spot. Or at least, you know, so far it seems like it's in the correct spot. So let's see if we can keep getting a little bit of follow through and kind of get that lucky follow through. Next top profit target is probably going to be 420, just because tomorrow's 420. And we'll see if we can keep getting there. So it's pretty much the same setup, right, as we had here. But don't want to chase this. Maybe a little bit extended here at this point. So I'm not going to add to my position here or anything along those lines. Just going to be happy to have that sort of insurance. Big concern here now is maybe the indexes are starting to look a little bit exhausted. They're not giving us that super easy price action. So I'm not going to assume that next level of easy price action is going to step into Facebook as well, right? And then the other problem is not the most logical of stop losses here. So I'd rather just be a little bit cautious, a little bit patient, and just see if we've done enough to sort of survive this pullback. So not really a re-entry zone for me here. But if this was happening a little bit lower down in sort of the breakout, this would be another sort of A+ look. Hopefully that makes sense for everyone. Kind of debating closing my position here. I just don't like the lack of momentum that we're getting here, right? We didn't get quite the pop that we're looking for on this sort of breakdown under, right? So if you guys remember, when we made this lower low, it kind of, on this entry, right, it bounced back like a tennis ball. This is more bouncing back like some Play-Doh or something like that, right? So it doesn't feel super enthusiastic here. So if I can get out maybe around $4, I'm kind of curious or interested in that. Yeah, it just hasn't necessarily been the reaction I'm super stoked for. See if it can bounce back here a little bit. Right, so like, see when it's bouncing back, like there's such a lack of enthusiasm in that bounce. Now, this is really weak volume here, so it's not exactly a huge sign of bearish strength, but it's not a huge one. So what I want to see, right, is when price bounces, is I want it to see it bounce more like a tennis ball than like Play-Doh, right? I want to see it to bounce back aggressively and quickly instead of like being relatively slow, right? So I want that enthusiasm in the reaction when we make that lower low, where people are like panicking and firing orders in to sort of protect that breakdown, right? If you get that sort of lack of enthusiasm, it's more maybe starts to tell me a little bit that momentum has sort of disappeared a little bit, right? So it's more just an opportunity to save myself a few coins, right, versus anything else. Doesn't mean it can't run, doesn't mean it won't go up, but it's just a little bit, it's just not behaving necessarily the way I want it to behave. So it's a little bit, it's not as like enthusiastic. Still in, like I'm still in. I haven't gotten myself out yet. But it's just like, I'm just trying to talk you guys through my process here a little bit. So like, yeah, if you remember our entry here, right? Made that lower low under and then, really quick bounce back. Here we make that lower low and then it just kind of keeps sort of grinding back down, right? So that's really the difference. When we get that bounce back, we know we have that sort of enthusiasm, still in the name. So I'm going to get myself out here, guys. I basically talked myself out of it. Trying to get myself out at 380 if I can. No longer super enthused by this price action. So there we go. I am out. Close this position. Out at 380. Doesn't mean it can't keep going, right? Doesn't mean this thing won't keep running for me. But I'm just not, I don't really want to be greedy, right? And I'm struggling to think that we're going to get much more follow through this area at this point. So just locking in a nice win, right? Basically locked in 25%. That's pretty epic. I'll take that all day. And we had like 0 time in the red. So that's a great trade for me, right? I'm pretty stoked with that. And very, very happy with that trade. We're catching tops and bottoms, right? Or getting that big follow through. A lot of that is an element of luck, right? And getting those huge pops, getting those huge rips, it comes from a consistent, repeatable process. So we're getting a little bit of choppy price action here. It's not behaving the way I'm expecting. If the trade is strong, it'll give me another opportunity to enter. If not, then it's going to sell off and I probably saved myself a few bucks. So it's just a question of trying not to be greedy and just trying to trust the chart. And if I'm wrong, well, then I'll be able to review my trade later on and learn from it, right? And kind of grow that way. But I'd rather just lock in green, lock in profits, and yeah, not give anything away.